Hello and welcome to Clockwork Noodles. It is finally time for me to do the wrap up. It's been a while and I've been sitting on this video for such a long time, but I finally today decided this is it. No more going back. I literally closed my eyes and I went, what's the first thing that comes to point one, point two? For those who know as well, I've had a lot of trouble trying to put this video together simply because this season has been insane. There's been good anime absolutely everywhere. Normally, there's always some really good gems a season, and up until this point, I've not been able to struggle to crown my top three. Normally, there's always something I can go, yes, these are my top three. This season, depending on the week, depending on what was going on within the anime, the top three changed weekly. It changed daily. I'd wake up and be like, okay, this is my top three. By the evening, if something new had come out, I was changing that top three immediately. So guys, without further ado, I'm here to bring you my spring wrap up 2021. In this video, we will be covering my top three with an honourable mention, and we're going to move into what am I watching personally next season, all the things that I'm looking forward to, what am I going to be watching in my spare time, and then on to the thing that is most important to you guys, what are the anime I'm bringing to you guys on this channel to break down next season. So without further ado, I think we should just get it going. Also interesting for those who watched the mid-season wrap-up, the review, I did a little mid-season how I feel. Going to be interesting to see how this compares. I haven't looked at my previous list. I think things have changed, so I don't think it's the same. It's amazing just how things can change on the week when it comes to anime. Before we get going into the top three itself, I want to give you my most underrated anime, because this anime isn't on the top three. It didn't make the top three. It could have. Any other season, if it was quiet enough, this anime could have crept up. Most underrated is Odd Taxi. If you have not watched Odd Taxi, I really do think within this time where the seasons are quiet, we're about to start a new season, take time to have a look at it. Off the bat, it just looks like a anime about a taxi driver. It's all animals, and you might be like, I'm not a furry. Don't worry, guys. Neither am I. But a few of us started to notice when Odd Taxi started to come out with a few episodes that the level of writing quality was very similar to things like a Tarantino movie, and a few people have said it. Watching this story unfold, get more and more in-depth, it became one of those animes that really deserved more people talking about it, but nobody was. So if you have got a chance, please check out Odd Taxi. If you like Quentin Tarantino's work as well, go and look at it and see where people are coming from. See if you can see where the Tarantino links are. Let's now move on without further ado to my honourable mention. This anime I wanted to put in the top three so badly. Shadow's House. And it has narrowly beat Masahiro no Oto. Oh my god, I wanted to put Masahiro no Oto here so badly. But Shadow's House every single week was doing something that Masahiro wasn't quite doing. It was constantly building the unease. It had this, whenever you watch Shadow's House, there's this atmosphere that I can't explain. You don't know what's going on. It's creepy. Something always feels amiss. Even up until episode 9, where we start to get a bit of an idea of what's going on, a bigger reveal of what the story is. Even that big reveal is dark, and I love it. I love the way that it's done. You've got a flip side. You've got shadows. You've got these humans, living dolls as they call them. It is fantastic. The OP is fantastic. The ED is fantastic. The score is fantastic. Love it to pieces. Any other season, it would have probably crept even higher on my list. However, for now, it is taking honourable spot. This list was difficult. I'm probably going to release this and next day I'm going to even think differently. In third position, To Your Eternity. Oh, I know I'm putting it so low on my list and it hurts. To be fair, To Your Eternity is continuing on to the next season, so it's continuing through to summer. We've got more time, so it's a possibility you might see To Your Eternity on my summer wrap-up video. And I think it's a possibility that this anime might even pull out the punches even further down the line. Right off the bat, episode 1 had me crying, which is something that not many animes can say they've done. It's only specific animes, very special animes in my heart that have had that honour of bringing me close to tears. To Your Eternity is full of an absolutely loving cast, stellar voice actors, and a very interesting premise. And the way that it's handled, us following a character who you don't have too much information about, you experiencing the world from his eyes. We getting to see characters that are not even in it for that long. The fact that they can make you cry and feel attached to a character, they will cut off and kill it. No one is safe in this anime. I didn't think I would be associating and attaching to these characters as much as I did, And I was like, okay, you're not going to make me cry. These characters, I've met them for one episode. I'm not going to cry. End of the episode, bawling in tears. Just telling you how amazing the level of writing this anime is. The sound score is fantastic. I love it to pieces. The story is also told through its music, which you don't see done very often in anime. This anime, I've got high hopes. I believe it may take a higher spot next season. And of course, it's come from a stellar writing cast, people who have done things like Slime, the Silent Voice crew as well. Fantastic talent just wrapped up in this one project. Let's move now to number 2. It is Phoebe Fluorite's Ice song. Yes, I think this might be the shake-up from my mid-season review. I think this is the shake-up. Phoebe didn't take number 1. Absolutely adore the story of Phoebe, and what I credit it most for is action. Non-stop action. It's got a great storyline, it's got a beautiful sound score, but the premise as well, it's original. This whole story has come from nowhere. Wit Studio are one of my favourite studios. I'm not biased, I promise. At one point, I wasn't sure if Vivi would make it because there were points where it was losing me along the line. The story was chugging along and I couldn't quite see how it was ending. The anime did quite consistently stellar artwork, stellar sound score, lots and lots of action, and the action was animated to such a high level. The backgrounds are painted, all of the worlds were painted. I kept likening this anime to a game. It really felt like I could be dropped into this place. I could play as a game character. That would be something I really would want. If Phoebe ever came out with a game, I would be all up for playing that game. Same with To Your Eternity as well. Two anime I believed could make quite interesting games to play. But Vivi was something I was so impressed with. I had no information going into the series, and first episode, seeing the humans getting massacred by AI army uprising, you had my attention right off the bat. So I am very happy to say you have done it. You are in second place. I have a feeling you've dropped a rank. I can't quite remember my top 3 from the halfway point. I have a feeling it's a drop. But number 1, it had to. It had to be number 1. And it's something that you guys aren't going to see coming because it wasn't on my breakdown lists. And I didn't even mention it at all in the midway halfway review. Fruits Basket, the finale. And I don't think I'm going to get too much hate for putting this up here. I think the way that this anime has very nicely come back and retold a story that it was the first manga I ever read. I don't read manga very often, but back in uni, I fell in love with Fruits Basket, the story, but it ended on a cliffhanger. So I picked up manga, read the whole lot, fell in love with it, cried my eyes out, then completely forgot about it. Many, many years later, wasn't expecting them to ever go back and try and remake it. This is the season that really brought it all home. All of those impacts, all of the tie-ups, all of the emotional stories coming to one big eclipse. It's just been beautifully animated. This anime makes me cry every single week. I know it's not a competition, and most of the animes on the list, apart from Vivi, have made me cry. I really did not expect the level of just love to be poured into this anime. The voice acting is gorgeous. The sound score as well. The sound score is good, but it's not the main focus here. The focus on this is story. It's about having these multiple characters, and yes, multiple characters will make you cry, all weaving in and out, and how they're all intrinsically affected to one another. Every single character is given love. Some animes that I was concerned about, and there's a few different animes which didn't quite make it on the list, things like Moriarty the Patriot. Having so many characters, you need to develop the time to develop their story. It can't just be, here's our beautiful big cast that you're going to love, but you're not going to see them. That was my biggest flaw with some of these other animes as well. Fruits Basket does that. It spends the time to lovingly develop every single character that is on the screen. So though that, my friends, is my top 3 anime of spring 2021. It was the most difficult choice I've ever had to make. I really wanted to put Masahiro no Oto on there. I still think it could be another honourable. Check out that anime if you haven't seen it. But that is my top 3 and it can no longer change. Friends, I think it's time to put this stellar season behind us. It is time to move on to a new season. Summer 2021 is here, coming knocking at our door now. And let me enlighten you guys to the beautiful gems that are coming your way. As always, we're going to start with the movie I plan to catch at some point. Movies are a hard one. I generally will tell you what movies are coming out this season, but depending on where you are in the world, you may not get hold of them till sometime later. We've only just had Mugen Train, which is the Demon Slayer movie over here. This one is something I really want to watch, so I'm just going to tell you it's coming out. It is called Belle. Now, this anime is beautiful, guys. I won't lie, I would just tell you that it is absolutely stunningly gorgeous. In Japanese, it is Ryu to Tsubakasu no Hime. An anime which seemingly centers around the idea of an online world and offline world. This girl becomes Belle, that is probably going to be her persona, and she enters into some really stunningly gorgeous worlds. I guess the world of being online is endless, so something I really want to look out for. Just want to give you guys some of the screenshots of how gorgeous the artwork looks. This has my attention, this really has my attention, so I really hope I don't have to wait too long to get hold of it. Next up, let's talk about things with sequels. So sequels that are coming out this time that I'm watching in my own time. First things first, let's go for My Next Life as a Villainess. Season 2 is already here, and we didn't have to wait very long. Second season airing on July the 2nd. Nice easy one to remember there. Continuing onwards with Katerina, our not-so-bright MC, as she ploughs her way through trying to avoid red doom flags all left, right and centre, even though by this point it is very, very clear that we're not going to be going down any doom routes anytime soon. But I guess the simple question is now, how's it going to end? Who's she going to get with? She's got a hurry. Are any of them going to be her suitor, or will she do as she did in the first season, take the middle route where you pick friendship? Who knows? But the second season is here to give us answers. Next up is I'm Standing on a Million Lives, Season 2, July 9th. This one again, didn't have to wait very long. I'm not an isekai fan, guys, and this is going to be a season of isekai. But this one did get my attention. I watched it. It seemed a little bit different with the class systems and how he starts as a farmer. However, he did quite quickly become pretty OP, so maybe it did kind of break that one. But the first season had me enough to watch it till the end, so gonna see how the second season does. All about a boy who is sent, along with other people, to battle through game and missions to get back to the real world. So they spend time in a different world, they clear a mission, then go back. The next second season is When They Cry, or Higurashi as most of us know it by, or the anime with a lot of blood and that will probably traumatize you, Season 2. This of course is a remake and a reboot coming out on July the 1st. Continuing onwards for more horror, more trauma, more blood and gore. No doubt this second season is going to have us reveling in absolute pain and horror as we try and rinse our eyes after the amount of blood we see. Season 1 had a moment for me where I just had to go, oh, you're dragging this out. You're really dragging this scene out, aren't you? Nice. I'm not going to forget that scene in a while. Now, let's see what non-sequels do we have. And now I'm going to take a quick breather before I say this and try and say this in one breath. This is probably the longest title I've ever heard of for an anime, but I'm going to go. Here we go. Banished from the king's party, I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside. Yes, I got through that. That wasn't too bad. This is a slice of life, and we're following a ex-army mage who ends up being fired from his life in the services. Then he decides to go and live in the countryside, have a quiet life, and then obviously shenanigans ensue. This isn't an isekai, but it could be. It could be if I wanted to. But it's something that seems to have my attention. I'm very keen on my slice of life. I really like slice of life anime, so kind of sung to me when I saw that it was a slice of life. Very excited to see where this one goes, because I think it could have some fun moments, some little quiet moments, and it also might have the ability to possibly become a gem without realizing, trying to look at where the secret gems might be this season. As well, on my own time, this technically should have been in the sequels. Yami Shibai, 9th season. I guess it's not a second season, guys. 9th season is also out. That is just me getting lots and lots of Japanese horror stories, because I really like horror stories. You only watch it if you've already seen the other stuff. I'm not putting it as a great thing. It's just something I like watching, and it's become a bit of a ritual now that I just, whenever it's out, I watch it. The only thing I have taken away with it is I really have the ability to recite the opening quite nicely. So I do freak people out occasionally in the UK by saying the opening, and then people are like, oh my god, you speak Japanese. Kinda-ish. I guess I can try it here. Yattarashai mitarashai. Yami shibai no shikan da yo. There you go. That's all you're going to get from me now. Next up, we haven't heard Mappa for quite a while. Let's have a Mappa release. July 3rd is bringing us Remain. It's a Mappa one, but it's water polo. So yeah, get your head around this one. This is going to be your sports anime for the season. It's Mappa who is bringing the fire this time. It's not Attack on Titan. It's nothing ground shaking. This anime I don't think is going to be on many people's watch lists, but it is a sports anime nonetheless about water polo. I know nothing about water polo, so bring it on. Let me take a dive, if you beg the pardon the pun, into the world of water polo and see where it takes us, because I really enjoyed Backflip last season. Backflip was really, really good. Next up, we have Kageki Shoujo, The Curtain Rises, July the 3rd. This is a theatrical anime centering about an all-girls school who want to put on a play, some opera. I like opera, guys. I like opera. I like theatre. It centers around girls who are of all abilities. We have a very tall girl who really wants into performing, so overcoming the idea of personal differences and overcoming how, accepting who you are, being born with what you are. So I think it's going to be an interesting one. So I'm putting it on the list just because I haven't had anything theatre related on the list for a while. Same day, July 3rd, we have Bokutashi no Remake. This is an interesting one. It all focuses in a slightly older MC this time. I always appreciate an older MC who is a game developer, but his game development company goes bust, where he ends up travelling 10 years back in time and gets a second chance at life. This reminds me of a few different animes which have had the whole, you get to go back and 10 years later, you change your future kind of thing. Definitely reminds me of a few animes, and just going to be interested to see how it goes. Plus, I'm a slightly older anime watcher, so I can appreciate an older MC and getting a bit more of a fresh view on life when it comes to taking a second shot and what you would do differently. Next up, we have Shiroi Sauna no Aquatope. This is July the 8th. This one looks like it could be visually very interesting. This is all set around an aquarium. So we've got a has-been idol who's just kind of wallowing her days out here. And we've got another girl who's come from the country. It's a slice of life. So again, I'm a sucker for slice of life, guys. I love slice of life to pieces. Visuals look absolutely gorgeous. The premise is we're going to save the aquarium. That may not go down with some people who really don't like aquariums, and aquariums are a bit of a sore topic. There's some things I believe should be in an aquarium, especially when it's conservation and things need saving, but there's some things that don't belong in an aquarium. But it will be interesting to see how this anime handles the topic, and I think it will be a bit of a tearjerker if it really wanted to handle it quite nicely. July 5th is bringing Ura Mishi Onisan, a older character once again, another older MC. This time he works as a kids TV presenter. However, he's kind of fed up at life. He's a bit sarcastic. This I think I can get behind. Having to do a job where you're doing it and you're getting older and older, but you've also got that sarcastic, more pessimistic view on life. This I think has the ability to be funny. So I'm looking forward to this, hopefully making me laugh. The next anime is going to be our game reboot of the season. This is the side Traumaru, the animation. This is based on a game, and I think this could be a hidden dark gem. Also, it might be one, depending on how the first episode goes, that wiggles its way onto my breakdown list, because my breakdown list is actually quite short, and we'll get there when it comes in a minute to the breakdowns. But depending on how this goes, this might end up on that list. It is an action fantasy. It looks like it's a super creative way of doing it. We get dragged into another world, the idea of things going upside down. Our MC ends up seeing things, whether they're there or not. There's not too much that I can get from the main plot yet, and I don't know how heavily it's related upon its game, but the game artwork looks really, really good. So if it's following the game premise, it might be good. But again, game animes don't tend to do very well, so if this is going to do better, it would be impressive to see, because I don't tend to like my game anime adaptations. But now, the thing that we're all waiting for. What is Clockwork Noodles breaking down on YouTube for summer 2021? Well, let's get the first one off the bat, because you guys already know it's there. To Your Eternity is continuing onwards. This is going to be a Monday still. We still have Trauma Monday, my friends. Still there. Very excited to see this continuing. Also, I like being able to continue straight through, because I get to bring you guys with me, so we don't have to do anything. You don't have a break, and then there's not a risk of you not seeing my uploads when they go back up a bit later on. Can't wait to see where we're going now. The plot is fantastic. I really want to see how we go. How far do we go forward? Because the artwork around this anime definitely hints that this might be a longer story than we are expecting. Next up, I think this could be the replacement for Moriarty the Patriot, perhaps. So if you are here from the Moriarty videos, this could be something up your street. This is Tantai wa Mo Shindru. The detective is already dead. And again, with that straight off the bat, you can see why I think you guys might like it. Our MC knows I think it's his assistant. She dies, but then he meets a girl who looks identical to his assistant. This looks like it's going to be a action, a mystery, a romance. This is airing on Sunday, 4th of June, so currently got a Monday-Sunday release for me. I've got a much lighter schedule this time as well. Things might change depending on how I feel. This one I think might have my attention. Really depends on how it goes though. There's not too much information out there yet, but I do love me a good detective story, so if we can solve the mystery together, let's bring it on. Next up, hands up if you remember Pandora Hearts. Don't worry, I'll wait. Yes, the artists of Pandora Hearts have got a new toy for us. This is the case study of Vanitas. This is coming out July the 2nd on a Friday. I am having a much lighter release schedule this season, really loving that. But the case study of Vanitas centers around the idea of vampires and the idea of mystery, magic. We're following this character called Vanitas who has a grimoire, a magical book. Perhaps he's a bad guy, perhaps he's not a bad guy. That's mainly what I've got from it. There's a lot more artwork going up per day as we get slowly closer to the release. This is on my breakdown list because I like Pandora Hearts and I'm very sad that they abandoned it and then it kind of got the anime kind of came to a grinding halt, so nothing really happened on that. I have cosplay from Pandora Hearts too. Did have my time as the Will of Abyss, really enjoyed it. Got my high hopes that a bit of vampires and some mystery, some magic. What could go wrong? Let's have a look at how well the case study of Vanitas happens. This is, of course, a split core. I need to remind you guys, this has been split into two. So we will have a 12 episodes coming out in this season, and then I don't know if it rolls straight over, but later down the line we're having the rest of it coming out. Depending on how the first season goes, I may pick up the second season. Right, this is the one I am so excited for, guys. I am ridiculously excited because I did a what's in a design for this character. Obey Me! And if you are watching all of my Koi to Producer stuff, you are going to like this. Most people know what Obey Me is if you're an Otome fan. Obey Me trolled us initially. It was like, hey, there's an anime coming out. And then they kept going with this troll. And I was like, wait, it's past April Fool's Day. Is this real? Yes. And it's coming out this season. I haven't got a date for it, but it just says July. But I will, of course, be bringing out my schedule video quite soon, so hopefully I'll bring that out when I have a date for Obey Me. I will also take a chance quickly to promote the What's in a Design for Lucifer. If you haven't seen it already, go check it out. I wonder who my favourite character is, guys. But Obey Me is going to bring us all the goodness from the game and in its own unique spin-off story. So it's not going to ruin the game for people. So it's not really going to be something that I can go, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. It's not following the game lines. It's set in the same universe, the same premise, the MC's here. It's all about the brothers and their daily lives and how things go. With the MC involved who is taking their form as a sheep, because that's the beautiful thing about Obey Me. It caters for everybody. Otome game that really wants to include absolutely everybody and make absolutely everybody feel comfortable, which I definitely support. So Obey Me is got its place on this list. I am so excited. I want to see Lucifer so badly. Also, fun fact, I share a birthday with Beal and Belphegor. We are all 11th of March. So when it comes to that day, I get a lot of stuff in game. It's great. And of course, Devil May Cry 5, this is already done. I don't even have to worry about this too much. That will continue to launch on Tuesdays and Thursdays because there's now a Friday release. So that's continuing. That's already there. I just need to edit it and put it up on the channel. That's continuing. So that, for now, is the breakdown list. All you've got to do now is wait till the confirmation video goes up where I'll bring out my exact week schedule so you can see how the video releases on the channel goes. I am very excited to see where we go. It's a bit more of a quiet season, I'm not going to lie. So, again, if the side Trauma is actually really good, I will put it up onto the list because there's space for another anime to come through. So relieved that this video is finally done. I'm now just going to edit it and put it to you guys now. it has been giving me nightmares, the ranking and putting things into top threes and stuff. I've had so many nightmares, guys. It's done. It's finally done. I cannot wait to see you guys again for next season. So let me know in the comments what videos you're going to be watching. What are you watching this season? Are you coming across with any of the ones I'm breaking down? We'll be very happy to see how that goes. Also, let me know if you agree with my top 3. You probably don't, but again, will be interesting to see what ones you put on there too. If there is a anime that like My Hero Academia and you're like, why isn't it on there? I haven't watched season 4 yet, so I'm very, very behind. Otherwise, maybe that would have made its way onto the list. Have a good day, guys. Thank you so much for your continued support. Stay safe and have a good one. Bye-bye.